Hello dear students, today's lesson is about reading IELTS test. There are 6 yes, no, not given questions. The topic is about superstitions, and before reading this text, there are some blocking words that should be taught first. Let's start. Look at the picture. The question is written, whose views are fair? As you can see, my views and your views, and there's a third one which is based on reality. Now, logically speaking, the green arrow should be fair to the great extent, and let's say the first and the second one are related to personal ideas. So personal or individual ideas are somehow, in another way we can say, subjective ideas. Subjective is an adjective and is usually based on one's own interpretations. There are 2 examples written. Hiring decisions can be very subjective. Our perception, our understanding of colors is subjective. Now, let's move on. Next, pictures and question. Do they agree or disagree with notions, with ideas? As you can see, all of them are rejecting but not accepting the opinions. There's another word for reject. We can say disapprove. They are disapproving the others. As you can see, there are other synonyms related to that, and the antonym is approve. Another question, other pictures. What is the problem for these communications? Who are talking together? Let's say, who is talking to whom? Supposedly, a manager with his or her employee, worker. And how are they talking with them? Respectfully, or they are humiliating them? They are humiliating or belittling them. Repeat after me, belittle. It's a verb and it means make seem less significant. To reduce or dismiss the importance or quality of somebody or something. And the example sentence, I don't want to belittle her achievement. Other parts of the speech related to this word, belittlement is the noun, which is the action. Belittler is also a noun, the person who belittles, and belittlingly is an adverb. Let's move on. As you can see, there are some people wearing particular types of clothes, and the question is, why are they wearing particular types of clothes? Okay, as you can see, they are from different countries, east and west. So we can consider that it is their tradition to wear that kind of clothing, or we can say tradition. There's another word for that. We can say custom. Custom is the noun, verb, adjective, or adverb. It's a noun. As you can see, the synonyms and 2 example sentences. A society with many ancient customs, the book of Jewish law and custom. These are the phrases and examples from Longman Advanced American Dictionary and other softwares. Next pictures and next questions. As you can see, there are two pictures and a question. What kind of role do they have? For example, TVs for providing information, or people like Hitler or Stalin. The role for providing information in comparison with other sources of information, we can say TVs are more what? And based on behavior, these two cruel individuals in history had what kind of effect on people? Dominant. Dominant is an adjective, means be in control or command over others, or more important, more effective or prominent than others. The examples: dominant and aggressive behavior. The other one, TV is the dominant source of information in our society. Next one, you can see a couple of pictures, or let's say more than a couple of pictures, and there's a question between. How are the managers reacting to employees' suggestions? It seems that they are not accepting their opinions and consider them as silly or unimportant ones. So what are they doing? They are, yes, dismiss. They're dismissing the ideas or the people. Dismiss means reject, and the synonyms are written, as you can see, and you can study later. The example sentences: she dismissed the idea as ridiculous. They routinely dismiss any advice out of hand, means they do not even think about them. Next pictures are four, and the girls and the boys, the women and the men are sitting alone or in solitary places. There are two questions. How are these people living? So we can say they are living alone or in a solitary place. And what are they avoiding? The answer is they're avoiding the society. They're not among their circle of friends or any other communities that can be possible. So they're avoiding the society. There's another word for that. We can say they are eschewing the community. Eschew is a verb. Means abstain from, or let's say to avoid doing or using something on principle or as a matter of source. A man who eschews violence. Next pictures. It seems they are husband and wife, and they are cleaning the house, and the woman is doing the dishes, washed, and now is drying it, maybe. And there's a question: why are they cleaning with meticulous, careful details? What's the reason? Is it a problem about their behavior, or it's not a big deal? Of course it's a big deal, because they're suffering from one sickness, and let's say they are obsessive about details, worrying uncontrollably, worrying compulsively about something or things generally. And the example sentences: she has an obsessive need to control everything. Just imagine that if she doesn't control everything, she might be upset. She may be upset or angry. An obsessive personality. That's all. Now, let's start the reading passage. As I told you, there are 6 questions. The type of questions are related to yes, no, not given. First, I read the questions. Look carefully. Number 1, superstition is a simple term. Term means word. Number 2, the word superstitious can be used in a scientific way. Number 3, the powerful means people who are powerful tend to be less superstitious than the powerless. And number 4, modern folklorists, people who study about ancient people, their traditions, their customs, avoid using the word superstition. And number 5, it is easy to influence the way people think by changing language. And number 6, scientists have more control over the meanings of words than other specialists. Okay, important vocabularies have been discussed, and once again, there's another IELTS tip that I need to mention. The first line of each paragraph are really truly important. Now let's start. Superstition is not an easy word to deal with. Right now, in the very beginning of the text, we can understand that number 1 is not right. So the answer is not, no, yes, not given. We can write no for number 1. Number 2, let's be careful. Continue the reading passage. LT has been used in numerous contexts with roughly the same meaning for at least 600 years, but it is always the context in which the word appears that matters. By its very nature, the concept of superstition is highly subjective. So as we discussed about the word subjective, which is a kind of personal idea rather than scientific, we can reject number 2 as a false answer, but the question is related to no, yes, not given, so we can write no for number 2 as well. Let's continue. And this is seen most clearly in the use of the word as an adjective. Any person or group can call another superstitious, but this tells us nothing about the beliefs of those thus described. The only certainty is that the person using the word disapproves of or wishes to belittle the belief or custom which he is so labeling. In general, dominant elements in a society rejects the beliefs of less powerful elements as superstitious. So this question has nothing to do with number 3. The people who are powerful tend to be less superstitious than the powerless. No, this is not at all given. Let's continue. It is because of this cultural baggage that modern folklorists tend to eschew the word superstition and prefer to use terms such as alternative belief. For number 4, modern folklorists avoid. This is the knowledge, the skill of vocab that you need to know. Eschew means avoid, as we discussed before. So we can say number 4 is yes, is true. And let's carry on. Unfortunately, such attempts to alter perception by changing language are rarely successful. Again, here we can understand number 5. It is easy to influence the way. It is not easy because of being rarely successful. Unfortunately, so the signpost is unfortunately, and let's say another keyword, we can say rarely successful. That's why we can consider number 5 as a false answer, or according to the type of question, we should write no. Let's continue. Outside the strictly scientific spheres, meaning is not under the control of the specialists. So it means that the only way to understand the meaning is should be in the realm of scientific research rather than special aspects. I mean, scientists are more aware than specialists, according to the text. That's the reason that we can also they are the same outside the strictly scientific spheres. Means let's say the answer is true. Scientists have more control over the meanings of words than other specialists. So just the beginning part of the sentence, outside the strictly scientific spheres, meaning is not under the control, means it is not at all possible. They cannot reach that understanding, but it is only in the domain of scientists that can comprehend the information. So once again, number 1, no. Number 2, no. Number 3, not given. Number 4, yes. And 5, no. And the last one, 6, is yes. Good job.